As Israel and Iran continue to exchange fire for the third consecutive day, this is the latest developments at this hour. Israel claims Iran has launched a barrage of missiles towards Israel. Dozens of Iranian ballistic missiles have triggered Israeli air raid sirens in the center and north. Sirens have been sounded throughout Israel, an Iranian ballistic missile attack. Now, Israeli media has put out that Israeli government has extended state of emergency until the 30th of June. On the other hand, Israel is keeping up its attacks on Iran for the third consecutive day. Iranian media has reported blasts in central Tehran with reports of a daytime explosion near the city center. Video shows smoke rising from the area. Iran has activated air defenses in Tehran to intercept Israeli projectiles. Reports claim police headquarters has been hit in Tehran. Iranian media says the death toll from Israeli attacks on Friday and Saturday was at least 128 people, including women and children, with hundreds more wounded. U.S. President Donald Trump has stepped in amid rising tensions, says Iran and Israel should make a deal soon. In his Truth Social post, Trump said, and I quote, "Iran and Israel should make a deal and will make a deal, just like I got India and Pakistan to make. In that case, by using trade with the United States to bring reason, cohesion and sanity into the talks, where two excellent leaders were able to quickly make a decision and stop." Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has issued a stern warning to Iran. Netanyahu says that Iran will pay a very heavy price for killing Israeli civilians as the two foes kept up intense fighting.
Iran will pay a very heavy price for the premeditated murder of civilians, women and children.
Israel military said it has struck over 80 targets in Tehran overnight. The IDF also put out that challenging days are ahead and there will be more launches and impacts in the coming days. It added the Israeli Air Force is, quote, not stopping striking for a moment. Mr. Nathan Paul Sutton is an operations director at the Eyewitness Project. He is now joining us live from London. Mr. Nathan, thank you very much for making time for us and welcome to the broadcast. Can this war be actually stopped? Because if both Iran and Israel do not heed, how bad of a situation could that be for West Asia region?
The entire conflict has been driven at this moment by Israel in a way that will not allow the conflict to begin to reduce. It just can't. Israel attacked Iran during a time of what were essentially peace negotiations with the United States over their nuclear program. Now, this attack has completely destroyed any hopes of a plan being reached on that, and has ironically made the risk of a nuclear-armed Iran much, much more real. It comes at a time where Israel has been losing support from a lot of their Western allies for what has essentially just become a campaign of genocide and of war crimes after war crimes and of crimes against humanity and crimes against humanity piled on top of each other. And the support begins to wane, and Israel somehow finds a new leg of this conflict to reach into. So what they have done is started an enormous campaign against Iran here, and not with the strategic planning of actually trying to reduce that nuclear capability, because they're not able to do that. They would need the US support to actually hit into the mountainous areas where the weapons program is being developed. So what this is, it's a lot of bluster, it's a lot of unnecessary pain, misery, and the risk of a huge regional conflict is just growing by the day. But what Netanyahu has done, as he has quietened a lot of his Western critics, who are now having to respond and are having to re-up their support for Israel. They're having to send jets and defences into the region. So Netanyahu has once again managed to keep support building for a war, a campaign that should have ended a long, long time ago.
Mr. Nathan, now that you've mentioned support, the United Kingdom is actually sending their jets to this region as we speak. But there are some critics who accuse America of complicity. Iran has warned countries who aid or support Israel, like the United States and even France, that they risk being attacked. Trump now says Israel and Iran must sign a deal soon. What do you make of his statement?
There's virtually no deal on the table now. It is not currently possible for any consideration of a deal to develop when you're negotiating with one country and their main ally in the region starts an intense bombing campaign into your cities. Then you have completely lost credibility as a partner that you can actually make a deal with. And this is the same country that in 2016, after many, many years and a lot of diplomatic efforts, did make a nuclear deal with Iran, and then the president completely revoked it 4 years later. Now, the credibility of the United States as a negotiating partner is being destroyed completely by them allowing or being complicit, or by not even criticizing or attempting to stop Israel in what was essentially an unprovoked attack into Iran. That discussion about the credibility of the United States as someone that you can have serious talks with. They are no longer a serious entity to deal with when you're bringing in the war criminal of Vladimir Putin, who has showed no ability to broker any form of deal or peace negotiations in Ukraine. It doesn't even make tangible sense for Putin to be involved in these negotiations at all, and it just is showing the increasing incompetence of the United States and how they should just not be allowed anywhere near this conflict, because if Trump is able to, the conflict will just spread and deteriorate and get significantly worse. Netanyahu and Vladimir Putin are two war criminals who should not be given a podium like this by Donald Trump.
Mr. Nathan, let's talk about the nuclear talks. Iran has turned to Oman and Qatar to mediate the nuclear talks. Who do you think can turn the tide?
This is going to move more towards states, most likely like Qatar. Because the US has really just lost so much of its credibility. So states like Qatar will come in, but we've previously seen China becoming more influential in the region as well, and then previously brokering deals with Saudi Arabia. So where the US is creating a vacuum, I think Qatar and the Gulf states will really look to fill that. And the European Union states should really try to increase their influence in the region, but it's most likely going to be Gulf states like Qatar, and we could possibly see China's influence starting to rise in the Middle East.
Mr. Nathan Paul Sutton, thank you very much for your time and for talking to WION World is One today.